Hey guys, I hope you're having an amazing day so far. Here I am to make it a little bit more amazing by telling you that I have a few amazing tips to help you freshers out there get some amazing jobs as soon as you leave college. Because it's the time of the year where you're out searching for jobs, but everybody else is also doing that and there's so much competition, so what do? Well, I'll break this video down into 4 parts. The first part is where we'll see our strengths and weaknesses. The second part is where we'll see what kinds of jobs we can apply for. Yes, most people think there are only jobs in multinationals, but let me assure you, you can also apply to startups and they offer some amazing packages sometimes. So after that, we'll be diving into different kinds of skills that we need to be working on to get better jobs. And last but not the least, we'll get you some insider secrets from big recruiters from Cognizant, Amazon, Microsoft and much more. So stay tuned till the end and hope you get a lot away from this video. Now let's dive into the amazing and fun part because a lot of people skip this. The strengths and weaknesses, we cannot afford to skip this because this is where we get a starting point. Because if you do not have this, you are just confused as to what to do. So let's dive into it. First, what are the strengths of a fresher compared to the weaknesses? Well, the weaknesses, a fresher does not have experience. Yes, but a fresher has enthusiasm. So that is something that is going for you. You need to be enthusiastic about working for a job or anything, just working, be enthusiastic about it. A lot of people are, and that's something you need to inculcate if you can't feel that, because that is something which is really important. That is something that's going to separate you from the rest. Number 2. So what you lack in is going to be technical skills. Whatever your specialty is, you're not going to be the best. Unless, of course, you're the A grader. Sorry, I'm not talking to you. You're not worried about a job here, right? But the people who are not amazing coders or amazing at whatever skills they are studying for example, fashion or architecture or anything it is, you might not be the best at it, but you need to have the willingness to learn. Companies do love having that. They see that in the interview. They see one more important thing, which I'll tell you about eventually in the 4th part. So stay tuned for that. Next, number 3, and this is something companies are really afraid about, is that freshers are volatile. They're not sure whether they want to stay in the company or they do not. So make sure you do have a long-term vision. I'm not saying you want to stay in the company, that's not what I would say. But what I'm saying is you need to think of the future. But on the other hand, the strength that works towards your side is that you have no responsibility. You're low on responsibility, hopefully. You're not, the next moment you're not supposed to go and start earning for your family, right? In most cases. If you are, well, there are solutions for you. You need to have a better mindset. You should not go to a company to work just because you want to earn money. We'll be touching that eventually again. But make sure you go with a healthy mindset of learning and not trying to, focus too hard on earning. And one really important thing that we do wrong since our childhood, actually we don't do that, but our parents and teachers do that wrong, is the fact that we focus on our weaknesses. We need to stop focusing on our weaknesses. This is really important. We need to focus on our strengths. Remember this. If you focus on what you're bad at, you'll only be average. If you focus on what you're average at, you'll only ever be good. But if you focus on what you're good at, you will be the best. That's what I want you to aim for. Stop trying to be average or just good. Be the best, man. And do what you love to do. Stop trying to fit into somebody else's imagination. Stop trying to impress your parents, your girlfriend, your friends. No, it's your job to impress yourself first. Because that is the only thing you can sustain. You cannot sustain impressing others. It's your life. You spend most of your time with yourself, not with anybody else. Now that we know our strengths and our weaknesses, let's learn about the types of companies you can apply to. Let's simply divide it into 2 parts. Startups and established MNCs or bigger companies. Now, they both have their own advantages and disadvantages. If you're working in a startup, you will learn way more things, like way more things. There's no doubt about it, because it's a startup. They need help with almost everything, every aspect of the company. You get to learn, you get to understand, and my personal recommendation would be to go for learning again. And in an established company, say you want a more secure job, more long-term thing, you're looking for a better salary maybe, so chances are this is something you'll get in an established company. Point number 2. So in startups, you will be interacting with a fewer amount of people within your company. If it's a smaller startup, they don't really hire a lot of people. So if you want to be around a lot of people, if that's the kind of person you are, you can avoid startups, go to MNCs, you'll meet a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds. But again, let's move on to number 3. If you're looking to grow, MNC is not the place to be, because in MNC there's so much competition. MNCs have the money and the resources to keep you on hold for a long time. Startups do not. Also, startups want you to work really well, and they also reward you for that. Since the boss is almost all in direct contact with you, he's seeing your performance directly, right? He's seeing it in front of his face. So if you do really well in whatever you are doing, there's a higher chance that you will get promoted, maybe to a better salary. You never know, you could just be a co-founder eventually. Now, a really important thing to consider when you're working is whether you're more self-reliant or you have less ego. How are these two things comparative? Well, if you are self-reliant, you need to be really confident, and sometimes that comes off as ego. If you're way too confident in MNCs, people around you tend to get really uncomfortable. So if you love what you do, you have amazing skills, I really recommend you go for a startup. You learn more, you understand more things, and everything that I stated. But if you just want to learn, be around people, start working in a job, maybe get an easier time out there, work in an MNC. So here are a few resources you could use to apply to a startup or an establishment. You could use Angel Co, you could use several other things that I list down below, and you could see in this list here as well. And for MNCs, you have monster.com, naukri.com, and you see a lot of ads for those. Now, I hope you have a better idea of what kind of company you want to work for. Let me tell you a little bit more about what skills you would need to work in whatever company, in whatever thing in life. Now, if you don't watch the entire video, make sure you watch this part, right? Because this will help you eventually in any place, even if you have your own company, even if you're working for a startup or you're working for an MNC, this part is really going to help. So jobs are not really based on technical skills. They are based on your soft skills. So the part 3 of this video is technical skills versus soft skills. Now, what are technical skills? Basically, technical skills are the skills that you acquire in college. It could be an app development skill, it could be coding, it could be fashion designing, it could be anything that is related to your stream, your technicality, your specialty. On the other hand, is the soft skill, which is really, really important. If you focus just on the soft skill and you lack technical skills as well, you can still make it in life. But if you have only technical skills, things can get really, really tough. And I'm not saying this. The last section where I've spoken to HRs from MNCs and other places, they have told me that they have specifically mentioned that freshers need to work on their communication, their soft skills. So what comprises of soft skills now? So the most important soft skill is communication. If you can communicate well, you can get through anything. So make sure that you practice speaking. If you're not comfortable doing it at home, just pick up a phone and talk to your friends and try to speak well. I mean, let your friends know that you're practicing communication so that they don't get weirded out. That why is my friend speaking so weirdly? So make sure you practice your communication skills And moving on, after communication, what matters is your negotiation skills. Now, a person might be able to communicate amazingly, right? But at the end of the day, when it comes down to his pay package or when it comes down to anything in life, you need to negotiate. और Indians इस चीज़ में तो अच्छे हैं ही, right? So you need to know how good you are, how good your skills are. You need to be self-aware, understand where you stand, and negotiate accordingly. Don't give in, because people are going to test you your entire life. And if you do not negotiate for what you want, for what you love, for what you think you deserve, you're never going to get it. It's the truth. Now, beyond this, your dressing skills, your people skills, your street smartness, these are things I can't really explain, but these things also matter. So I hope you are able to focus on your soft skills more than your technical skills, because technical skills can be acquired anytime. And you can acquire several technical skills. But for soft skills, you really need to work, because in our schools, we are not so focused on our soft skills. We are focused on getting marks. We focused on impressing our parents and teachers and just having that A grade on the report card. We just don't focus on these soft skills. We need to know how to communicate with people. Well, now is the interesting part. Now I will tell you a few insider tips from the recruiter. Let me tell you a very secretive thing that this recruiter has told me. I have two things to tell you that are really shocking, that move me. The first thing is marks really do not matter in jobs. Really, they do not matter. No matter what anyone tells you, as soon as you go through the door, nobody gives a crap about your marks. Okay? So once that is aside, you really need to focus on your soft skills. That's something they really mentioned, really emphasized on. Okay, beyond this, you need to make sure that you do not appear as a risky candidate. Going back to your weaknesses, volatility, you're not supposed to be volatile. The companies need to know that you are somebody they can trust, you are somebody that is right for them. Now, there are two specific skills you could work on if you want to get easy jobs. So companies like Cognizant, Google, Amazon sometimes have this thing called the Versant test. Now, what is a Versant test? It is a test of your speaking skills, of your communication skills. Again, I'm really focusing on the communication because that is super important. I cannot emphasize that anymore, guys. I hope that has been clear with you. So communication, go for Versant test and also work on your typing. You might be thinking, what the hell am I telling, right? No, typing is really important. Apparently, in a few jobs, typing is all you're going to do. So if you're a really slow typer, it works okay, but your efficiency is less, so the chances of you growing in the company go down again. Now, coming to the second really important thing that the recruiter has told me is you do not have to be super honest when you're in an interview. Now, you might be thinking, this is bad advice, right? People have always asked me to be honest. We need to be honest in life. Yes, you do. But again, see, when you're applying for a job, when you're in a business circuit, you need to make sure you're street smart. Do not lie, but do not be an idiot. Do not tell, hey guys, I'm going to leave the company in 6 months. I'm here only for that time and I'm here to learn, experience. Nobody cares. If you just tell them that, okay, I'm here to stay for the long term, they're happier. At the end of the day, if you want the job, you got to make a few things in. You got to make these few changes in your life. Bigger companies also look for logic. So if you're good at logic, it works in your favor. But if it doesn't, try to work on that by reading books, solving Mensa tests online, and doing some logical stuff. You can just Google logic quizzes or logic learning exercises and you'll find a lot of resources. Along with that, make sure you're watching some English movies if your communication is bad. Now, there's a high chance that a lot of you who are watching the video will end up in a job where they have to talk to a customer who probably resides outside India. Now, Versant test, as I told you about, is in an accent. So if that's something you want to crack, make sure you know how the accent pans out in reality. Now they might sound like this, but they might sound like this. They have different accents, it's confusing. It can be slightly hard to understand because we are not used to it. Now your job is simply to be more available to these accents, to not laugh at them, to not mock them. Just learn more, grow more, and things are easy, don't worry, you got this. Now, here are a few mistakes that all of us make. My friend is going to that college, or my friend is going to the job, so I'll do the same thing. No, don't do that. Now is the time where you're figuring out what you actually want to do for the rest of your life. Please do not leave your life in your friend's hand. It is a risky path and is generally leading to failure only. Imagine your friend likes working in a Amazon kind of environment where all he has to do is speak and talk. And you prefer working in the sun, making some events. But since your friend is going there and you too found an easy job, you applied there and started working there as well. Now you did two things. One, you did not do what you love, so you cannot sustain this. And two, you killed yourself a little bit. And this affects you, this affects your confidence. You need to be really confident in life if you want to be something really good. You can't just be shy. You have to let yourself shine out. Indian colleges get this wrong. A lot of them focus only on the academics part. They want you to do a lot of paperwork. Even when you're doing exercises or activities, what they want you to do is fill up papers, submit it, and forget about it. Well, what's the use of that? Well, my suggestion would be that you go out there, pick up a job, maybe even a part-time one, or just do something else of your own. Play a sport. Be slightly professional with it. Don't just do it for the fun. Don't just do it for the heck of it, Do something real with your life. Colleges have been really bad in nurturing students. They are not teaching what they are supposed to. They're not teaching how to actually make money out there. All they are teaching is some random ass skills which you could learn on YouTube. So that concludes the video, and I hope you learned something that you didn't already know before. And if you want a part 2, please let me know in the comments. I love making these videos to help you guys out. And if you can, just like, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out, helps me keep the content flowing, lets me know that what I'm doing is helping somebody out there. This has been wonderful. Take care.